Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Well, for you it has been probably a long time. For me even a longer time probably. So the last episode I've done in post commentary and on Kerbal Space Program generally was the very first video on this channel, the introduction video where we went with a pretty simple rocket to the moon and placed our rover there. I think we should visit the rover once in sometime in the future. However, in today's mission, as you probably can tell by the title or probably by the thumbnail, we're going to do now with a base. So this is a one launch base to Duna. And yeah, I think that's more or less the most important part. And well, I think I have to go in onto the design and kind of talk quickly about the design, how it is. Yeah, just generally about the design. It is pretty ugly, yes, I know, and it is extremely aerodynamically unstable because of those two external sights. I don't know how well you can see them right now. Yeah, anyways, we have now the separator of the boosters. Not quite a bit, and an explosion. Okay. Sadly not as beautiful as I'd really like to see them. I really love when all boosters, all 6 of them, go up like some sort of flower and drop down. That's really beautiful. I sometimes even do some screenshots of those, even if they are not really related to what I'm doing anyways, but they're really amusing to have once in a while. Anyways, now you can see those two sides sticking out. As I mentioned earlier, they are very aerodynamically unstable, obviously. And I really wanted to put them in some sort of fairing, the entire base in some sort of fairing. But before this, now re-entry function was launching, you can really see how bad the aerodynamics are, so in real life you would never do this. However, Kerbal Space Program is pretty forgiving if you strike everything up. Anyways, what I'm trying to say now for the third time probably, those structures on the side are connected by docking ports, so in theory we could have sent them separately or placed them in some sort of decoupler on the side of the main booster, then detached and reattached them. And something similar was more or less the first idea, first iteration, however you may call this, the first version of the of course, surface station. Yeah, and I've of course tried to first things out, of course, and there were a lot of issues. For example, when docking, because they have 4 landing legs each, I had to really maneuver them very carefully into position, getting a good angle so that they are more or less aligned with the other landing legs on the main central hub. And this was kind of more tedious, more difficult than I really expected. I'm now just jumping forward on the footage. I have to mention the ones in the while as well. To the transit burns, I have cut out all the Uber setups and everything according to those things. However, the burn is still in there, even though it's on the dark side, which is kind of, well, right now, post-recording, I think it would have been better not, well, cutting the entire transition burn out. But anyways, if it's in there, a longer time to talk about different things as well. But first of all, what I'm trying to say is, yeah, putting all these redocking whilst in orbit, orbital assembly was quite tedious, difficult, and all the time. I did it around 3 times or so, and then landed it on Kerbin, of course, just for testing purposes. and well, it didn't work out quite well. Then I tried to work around the issue with doing those side arms or side sections smaller to now fine-tuning the encounter with Duna. So on planning our way there, and well, then I wanted to make them shorter to fit in a fairing, but then there was not enough room for all the things I wanted to use them for, and I ended up going with just the docking ports. And well, we have in theory the ability to redesign the surface base at a later stage. However, I don't think I'll do this. Anyways, now it is that way, and I'm kind of thinking it is. By the way, it is really my first big-ish. Well, it's definitely not big. It's still pretty small. And oh, now you can see the satellites on this side. Those are intended to set up a small communications array around Duna. And if I'm already talking about communications arrays, at this time, well, from the point where I recorded the in-game footage, now we're decoupling those satellites, and now the post commentary, I've already established a communications array around Kerbin. In the beginning, I wanted to make a whole video out of it, and title something around or somewhat the easy and lazy way to set up a communications array around Kerbin. And yeah, but it took me quite a while to do it properly. Well, properly, it was still the lazy way. I used no calculations whatsoever and no mods, of course. So as you can see, it is completely stock, and I really want to keep it stock for at least another dozen episodes or so. And maybe later on in a more specific series where I really do something with a big goal. I don't know what this might be right now. But anyways, I might mod KSP, but at the moment, as I said, I'll leave it stock. So anyways, setting up the first steps for communications array, and I will be talking about those two satellites in a couple of minutes in more detail, in greater detail, or you'll see. Anyways, so as I wanted to say earlier, during the transition between the interplanetary space, this is the first surface base I've launched in all of my KSP history that has more than just one tower. I mean, those two side arms, even though they are pretty useless and mainly for decorative purposes, even though they have some ISRUs in it, so in theory I could drill for ore and produce some fuel and then give this fuel to some sort of, I don't know, maybe plane or so, or miniature spacecraft that kind of is able to dock with the station. I haven't really thought about this in advance, so it's just a neat thing, and it kind of looked good, and you can always say it's for research purposes and whatsoever, something along those lines. Drilling on the ice poles. As you can see, either on the thumbnail or right now by the trajectory we're taking, we're going to the pole. Yay! Because I think there are a lot of other YouTube videos and general tutorials, maybe not tutorials, but general videos talking about how to get a station to some sort of station onto the surface of Duna, and now to the poles is something a little bit more special and something not used or done all the time. Yes, and now we're probably going to skip forward. Yes, we're now already pretty close to Duna. I think I'll talk right now more about the footage rather than what I wanted to do or was supposed to do. So as you can see, we are now descending, opening up a heat shield, the biggest heat shield in the game, this heat shield is probably even overpowered for Duna because we're not going too fast and the craft is not that big, and you can already see we are not even on a hyperbolic trajectory, but on a suborbital, more or less. So, by the way, for those who don't know, wait, I think for those who don't know yet, there's kind of three-ish types of trajectories. You have the suborbital, where you go above the atmosphere and come down, like the one we can see right now. There is the normal orbital trajectory, where you circumnavigate more or less around the planet. And there's the hyperbolic one, where you kind of enter the sphere of influence, escape the sphere of influence. For example, if we didn't slow down and didn't hit the atmosphere, then it would have been a hyperbolic one. Anyways, now we're coming up on the screen to something pretty stupid. Here are my parachutes, and there's the heat shield, and yeah. You could see this, and after a second try and successful landing, I realized the base was sliding down. So a third try was needed to land this thing successfully. Well, the first try was just my stupidity. The second try, I landed. However, somehow the base started slithering downhill. Like, for example, right now you can see this as well, just a little bit, but this somehow was able to stabilize it at the end. But anyways, what's next in the footage? I'm not quite sure. Yeah, probably trying to stabilize. There you go, time warp. I think I haven't time warped in the second try, but we'll see. Okay. And you could really see inside the planet down there. That's so strange, wasn't it? But the most important part is we have landed successfully, and that's important. Planting the kind of a flag like you always do when you land on a celestial body with your Kerbals, and though those Kerbals won't return home, I don't know, I think it's still a successful mission, isn't it? And as I mentioned earlier, with those different relay satellites, well, you haven't seen any sort of no footage anymore, and that's because I was so absent-minded and, well, almost literally forgot about them. I was completely I wasn't really thinking about them, so now we don't have any sort of communication, direct comms link with the base. But anyways, that's not too important because we have two Kerbals there. Anyways, thanks very much for watching. We'll just hop in there with our lovely jetpack, and I hope you've enjoyed the video, and of course, until next time, bye bye.